I can't do it like Lee, but I have my tea.
You gotta have ice in it. There's no ice in it.
And I don't do ice. I don't
I
do
don't.
ice.
I don't either, man. I don't like ice. I even my Celsius. I drink them room temperature. I don't
I don't.
ever. I like room temperature.
I don't like the mice thing. But Lee is working. He walking as he a walk. He a walk. He waka waka waka.
Oh,
He a do so much a walk.
he walks on and walks off somewhere.
He a try to make a dada proud. Okay.
Okay.
We don't want to disappoint the family.
Go to the point of memory.
He cannot be disappointment to family. He have to make sure carry family down way across Rhine. Okay. All good. All good.
Oh man.
Anyhow, um, the thing has been taking the internet by storm is this airport interview by Tucker Carlson on Mr. Michael Huckabee,
Mm.
and so we're gonna listen to it. Listen to two different sides. The one side where people believe that Tucker won, and the other side where we believe that Mike Huckabee won. To me, in the long run, there were both sides that had equal points being given.
Mhm.
My biggest issue with Tucker is that he is forked tongue. He cannot seem to decide whether he hates America because of the government or loves America because of what he, So I'm confused, um, a little confused, just a tad. And as far as Huckabee is concerned, I think he had one, but wasn't he running for president or sometime way back in the day?
Yeah.
I know when he was governor, he was trying to make a presidential run.
Mhm.
And for Mike, I understand where he's coming from, but I think you can be too much of a suck up to a place where you don't see the problems. So I think we can agree that both sides have
Yeah.
problems, but we're going to see which one makes the most logical sense when it comes to their points of view. Okay. Again, go ahead.
And when it came to Huckabee, he almost sounded like Ted Cruz when Ted Cruz got interviewed about Israel.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying the same thing. And, I love Tucker's questions. We're going to watch it, parts of it. But I love this questioning. And that's a lot of questions that I've asked. There's a lot of questions that American people have asked. So it's a very interesting interview. And I don't know, America, you let us know. Who do you think came out on top in this interview?
If anyone, if
anyone.
they both came out on top and America lost. That's that's the other option. All right, this is just a 10-minute snippet from it, and this was about the Israeli attack on the Gaza situation. I have my own take on that, and my take has been kind of frowned on by most people, even some on the panel. We have a different view about it, but my idea about it is that the folks that were involved in Gaza going into and attacking Israel brought a lot of destruction on the people of Gaza, and I see Israel as a retaliatory force, not a inciter. But that's just me. I have no doubt that they've done some things, but in this particular war that kicked this off, I can't blame Israel on this one. I think they're just doing what any person that's been attacked will do. But we'll see what the questions get asked here are in the airport, in the airport of all places. All right, let's go.
Civilians have been killed by the IDF in Gaza.
We don't know. You know
What's
why
your
we
guess?
don't know?
What's your guess?
Well, the only numbers we have come from this dubious entity called the Gaza Health Ministry. You know who that is?
Well, why
It's
doesn't
Hamas.
Israel have some kind of count on it?
We also
Okay, first of all, how would Israel have a count? That's my question. How would Israel have a count if they're not in there counting when a bomb goes down?
It's a good question.
That's the only thing I want to know. I'm not saying they didn't do something. I'm just asking, why would you ask Israel to have a count of that? Considering, especially if again, this is part of what I don't like about Tucker. The questions are disingenuous and sometimes, and he has been pro-Hamas. Whether he likes to say it or not, he has been pro-Hamas. He denies the fact that there are such a thing as radical Islam terrorism. I don't know why he's denying that, because I don't know why he's denying that, because that's a fact. I mean, that's provable. Every metric is provable. I don't understand that one. But um, numbers can be skewed coming in from places all the time, both to the positive and to the negative. So I don't get that question. What's your take on that one?
I don't know. I've been in a few firefights in my life. And, whenever we left in a tick or a firefight or something like that, we almost kind of had an estimate of, we kind of estimated about how many fighters we saw with our own eyes that we can actually see. And, we walk out of there with a rough estimate, but then we will wait on the local government to actually tell us the exact
local government, precisely,
count. So, yeah, I can get Tucker. Yeah, Israel can't really tell them, but they can estimate because they are seeing a lot of stuff with their sights, their thermals when they hit the target. So they can say, "Oh, we saw about 20 enemy fighters down there." So you can give an estimation, but an exact count, I doubt it.
I know that a lot of the people who were killed were in fact warriors. Sadly,
How many kids were killed?
we don't know.
What's your guess?
I don't know. I'm sure it was thousands, and it's thousands too many.
Of kids were killed.
Some of the kids who were killed had been recruited to be in the military,
and that is provable. And this is the problem. You're not talking about America versus the UK. You are talking about a military force that does not operate like a regular militia. They do things that are contrary. It's almost like Vietnam anymore. It's rogue forces. They use unorthodox approaches to war. Am I wrong with that? Where they use kids and they've strapped bombs to kids? This is not abnormal. This happened this has been happening for 20, 30 years now. I don't understand why Tucker is acting as though this is not true. Like they don't use children. And when you blow up a child that has a gun and has a bomb on them, it is counted as a child death. Why? Because it was a child.
That is true.
I don't know, man. Is it a shame that children are being harmed? Yes. It is very much so. But you are talking about an enemy of Israel that uses things that is very, very much not welcomed in normal warfare, like child soldiers and human shields, and putting up your thing in a hotel where people are, and schools and hospitals. It's a little bit, I don't know, wild that people would think that somehow there should be a way to eradicate the bad guys and have no collateral damage because the bad guy set it up that way.
I mean, and these people will go to any length to hurt people. I've seen them stuff bombs in children's body that they kill, and they would have the body laying on the side of the road for everyone to find it. They see this dead child that's missing out there. They would stuff it and blow it. They put bombs in donkeys. A donkey walking down the road, they sew a bomb up in the donkey, and the donkey just walk along and they blow it. So they're willing to use anything by any means necessary to get their point across.
Yeah, well, we'll see where we take this questioning here.
Kids as young as 14 years old.
Kids. Do you hear yourself? I wonder.
I just said that there were kids as young as 14 that were recruited to be Hamas soldiers who were given arms.
How do you feel about the kids being killed?
I think it's horrible.
And see, he's making it an emotional it's not emotional.
That's true.
You won't even address the fact that happens. Okay, cool. He said thousands. He said thousands are probably killed. The same way you flippantly said thousands of kids have been killed. You said it the same way, but when he says it, it's a bad thing because he won't acknowledge children are killed. He does acknowledge children were killed. And then he's giving you reasons why the count might be high because of them using child services in the war. Bro.
At the end of the day, as a soldier, sailor, Marine, whatever, your job is to go back home. So if I'm patrolling down some Muhala somewhere in some foreign country, and what happens to look like a child points an AK-47 at me or an RPG, at the end of the day, we got to take care of ours and our own, and no one likes to do things like that, but you still got to protect you and yours. And that's some of these kids, they're bred to fight. They're bred from the moment they can walk, they're handed an AK-47. They're taught at a very young age how to use these weapons. So they're not just some random kid say, hey, or you come over here, grab this AK. A lot of these kids have been doing this stuff, been training for this.
Let me show y'all something real quick. Unless y'all have not seen this, there have been multiple videos that used to go around with these kids that were celebrating with guns in their hands. You remember videos like that, right? What do you do in a situation like that when they are placed in front of you as your enemy? You have no other option. It's no different than kids in America, gang members as young as 13, 12 that do have weapons and go out and do harm. And when the cop pops him off, what's the first thing they say? He was just a kid. Yeah, but he was just a kid with a weapon that was shooting people, for crying out loud. The same thing you can say with a school shooter. He's just a kid. If it's a school shooter, y'all all of a sudden forget it's a kid, right?
Yep.
He got popped. And that's what you get for killing kids, right? But it was a kid that killed kids. Is that not the same? Why not have the same exact? Because he got idealized by something inside in his head to make people believe people hated him. And it might have been true that people didn't like him, and he took it out on them as a kid. And when he gets off, oh, that's one less idiot in the world. He's gone. That's what he gets. That's what he gets for walking up in the school with a gun. Yeah, but that's a child. I mean, but they don't hear them complaining.
Nope.
Again, everything is relative until it's on a point that you want to make.
Horrible. You know what I also think is horrible? I think it's horrible that 1,200 people were slaughtered by people across the border, and 252 people were taken hostage. 48 of the 1,200 were Americans.
Agree more.
And then when
are all lives equal?
When Hamas,
I wish you would shut up, dude. My goodness. I really dislike when people do that crap. I really do. Like it, that's the one that really that's like in my craw, that is what really got, man.
Hamas could have ended this on October the 8th and given all the hostages up. They didn't, leaving no choice.
You're never going to get me to defend Hamas.
I hope not.
Pro
But
Hamas.
you have. That's the wild thing. All right, bro. What is Hamas? What is their belief structure based on? Radical what?
Radical Islam.
Okay. He says that doesn't exist. He says that a propaganda machine. Tucker, that's a propaganda thing that we've been lied to about, that there is no such thing as radical Islam.
No, it very much exists.
So if there is no radical Islam, you are defending radical Islam by trying to tell us radical Islam is not a thing. So yes, indeed, Tucker, you defended Hamas. You know, sometimes I wish these people would actually interview me, but they would never do that. They'll never do that. That's unfortunate too.
Hummus.
I hope.
Huh?
No, someone said hummus is good.
Totally opposed to slaughtering innocents, whether Hamas does it or whether the government of Israel does it.
But you're not talking about Hamas doing it first, though, oddly enough. Weird. Isn't that weird? That's wild.
Much larger numbers. And the reason I'm opposed to it is because I'm a Christian and I believe that all souls are created by God.
Is that what you believe? You sure about that? All right.
Do not disagree with that wholeheartedly.
But I said, how many children have been
war is
killed?
A horrible thing, period. And we don't know. We know that a lot of the numbers were reported by Hamas. But you said you think thousands of children have been killed. Yeah, and a lot of times, you know why they got killed? Because Hamas would gather up the children and put them in the targets. Do you know what Israel does? They send page messages and they send text to every cell phone in Gaza, and they say, we're going to hit this particular target. They drop leaflets and they announce where they're going to hit. Nobody does that. The U.S. doesn't do that. Israel does that in order to prevent, let me finish this. They do this in order to prevent civilian casualties. What Hamas does, they say, oh, this is the target. And by gunpoint, they push people into those various places. And then when people get killed, they say, look, Israel just slaughtered these people, even though it was Hamas who moved them into harm's way, knowing that it was going to put them in a place of danger and death and destruction. And they do that because they don't care. You say you care about life. I care about life.
It's interesting
Tucker,
that
they don't care about life.
I'm not saying that Hamas does. You're never going to get me to defend Hamas. I'm
good.
I'm anti-Hamas.
You've said that 3 times, and I believe
your dig at the United States is very revealing.
You notice how he moved on? He just moved on. You won't admit that what he just said is the reason why the children are dying. You will never admit that. I just won't defend Hamas. But you are defending Hamas by not admitting to what he just said is actually what's taking place. This is why I can't stand Tucker anymore. He has become very disingenuous, and I have to believe now that he has been always on MSNBC's and CNN's payroll for the entirety of his career. He just happened to be just like Candy and knows how to sell the right on a bag of goods, but really he holds to the ideologies of the left. He just knows how to mask it really good. That's just me. That's just what I see, because he handles this in a very disingenuous way. I'm not saying that what's his name gave an amazing answer, but for his answer had a lot of things that you could have taken a jab at to see if you can flesh it out. You didn't do that. And I don't understand. You could have even doubled down on the questioning of who submitted the answers to you about how many kids were killed. Because he mentioned something, but you didn't harp on it. You didn't go back to it and say, can you tell me who exactly in the Gaza that gave you that number?
Yeah, that's true.
So you can go back and ask them.
There were numbers floating around. I don't know if we were supposed to trust those numbers or anything, but he could have gave a ballpark, a ballpark answer, the numbers that were flowing around based off the information that we received from our intelligence agencies is around this many people. That would have been easy.
He didn't harp on it. Here's why he can't harp on it, because then he'll have to go and ask Hamas. And he knows that's where he has to get the answer from. It's from the same people that were supposedly wronged. He can't go talk to him. There is no way he can go talk to him and tell him I'm a Christian.
That's true.
Come on, Tucker, you know better.
Why is it revealing?
Because your priorities are very clear.
No.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And as an American, permit me a moment of outrage. Because
I'm about to do my soapbox. Let me do it, please. We're going to do it.
I said many civilians have been killed. Yeah. And you said right in the middle of your elaborate defense of the IDF's killing of civilians, including children, you said they do a better job than the United States does. That's my country and my government.
It's my.
See how he took that out of context? What did he talk about that did a better job at? Alerting
people. Yep.
Do you see how it? My God.
Yeah. Alerting the populace.
Wow. That's wild.
Is somebody in his ear telling him to say this stuff?
I don't even know, but that is crazy.
It's so easy to catch right there. Yeah. Come on, Tuck. I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you, Tuck. Come on, man.
What flag am I wearing here?
Well, I'm asking, why is it
What flag am I wearing?
Well, that's, of course, my flag as well.
And it's my flag. It's who I serve.
So why the dig at the United States in the middle?
It's not a dig at them. No. You've totally misrepresented that.
What did you mean by that?
I did not take a dig at the U.S. What I'm saying is...
So the IDF is more humane than the U.S.
Tucker, you have been on record dogging the United States for how disingenuous they are and how evil they are when they go to war. You have been on record talking about it. But when somebody else you disagree with says it, you hate America? Yeah, they hate America? Why do you hate America? Why do you hate America?
My country.
That's my country. I hate America.
My country. Yeah.
saying
military.
No, I'm just saying that Israel takes steps that we don't take and no other country that I'm aware of takes to try to prevent. Because no matter what Israel does, they're going to get accused of genocide.
That may be right, and I'm.
He really just said that may be right, but
hey, at least he said it.
Wow.
I'm just telling you that they.
But then let me ask you on that question. Okay. You know, that's such a politically loaded.
But I resent the idea that you think that I'm not loyal to the U.S.
Well,
or that I somehow.
Look, I'm not saying you're not loyal.
You just did bro. Am I deaf? Look. I'm so losing my patience with this monkey right now. Like for bro. You have no idea how much I want to just deck this fool. Like I literally want to knock him out. I literally want to put hands on Tucker Carlson right now. You just spent the last 5 minutes saying exactly that to the man.
Strong support, yeah.
It must be something. It must be something that I must be missing something.
I think he's trying to catch Huckabee in a gotcha moment.
Well, he's not doing it very well.
Yeah, he's not doing it. Come on, Tucker, get it together.
Here's my question. If you are, say you and me, bro, are having a conversation, and you really are interested in getting to the bottom of something nefarious that happened under my watch. If I brought up to you that somebody gave me intel about something, and you say, well, why don't you know the number? And I tell you, well, because I was depending on that person to give me the number, considering that they're the ones that had the damage. It's like me getting in a car wreck. The other person is now depending on my statements as to what happened to me. They don't know what happened. I might look like nothing at all happened to me. Meanwhile, I have internal injuries. I have a concussion, a fractured bone or two that you can't see, nothing's protruding. And I walk away from the wreck, but I go to the ER. Somebody finds you. How much did you hurt that man? And I said, well, not that bad. It just seemed like we got shook up a bit and he went to the doctor to make sure. Am I lying? No, because I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
And then he comes back, you come back later and you say, man, my leg was broken 2 places. I had 3 dislocated ribs. My lung got punctured. I've been in the hospital for the last week. I got a severe concussion, but all of that didn't get found until I went to the hospital. Now I submit to you, this is what happened. Press comes to me. Hey, you lied to us. You said nothing will happen to him. I said, I didn't see anything wrong with him. This is just what happened. So you lied. No, I didn't lie. What do you mean? I told you he got more information than me. This is what he gave me. How is that difficult?
To play the devil's advocate. How long is this war? Since October of 2024?
Yeah, a little earlier than that.
I mean,
probably at the beginning of it.
After the October, let's go from the October. What is it? 14th. Well, I would think, with all the foreign aid going in there, all the organizations going there to help those people because they are in there, I would think that a U.S. ambassador would have an idea of something, because you have a lot of NGOs in there going in there working that are probably going around saying, hey, this many people got wounded, this many people got dead, this many people. So, I could see kind of where Tucker's coming from, but on Huckabee's side also, he doesn't have direct information, so he's still relying on an outside source to feed him the information.
Hence why I said he should ask that double down question.
Yeah.
So what was the number that they gave you?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
What
No, you wanted to catch him in something else.
Yeah. What did the NGOs say? There's NGOs there. Did they give you any numbers, hard numbers? You're right. Questions like that.
That's crazy.
Merely noting what you just said, which was that the IDF takes greater pains than the U.S., our military does, to spare civilian lives. And I guess my question is, when was the last time the U.S. military killed this many civilians?
I don't think you want an answer for that, Tucker. Tucker, I don't think you want an answer to that. I think we can go back to just the Obama regime to find that out, shouldn't we?
We can go back to Nagasaki. Oh, man.
You don't have to go very far to find that answer, Tucker.
No.
Okay, but better yet, when was the last time they reported to you how many civilians they've killed? How many covert missions has the military done that we don't know about that took out civilians?
That's true.
Okay, let's start here. How many civilians did Obama just kill that was told to you about? You see what I'm proud? You see this? Okay, hear me out. And I know this is a lost art of people trying to stay central. Tucker, if you have an agenda, just say you have the agenda, but it's not truth. Let's get to the bottom of this. Tucker's agenda is not truth. First of all, Tucker doesn't know half the stuff he thinks he knows and talks about. Oh, I'm a Christian. Doesn't even know what the hell a Christian is. He couldn't tell you what a Christian is, what the meaning of a Christian is. He couldn't tell you because Tucker's not a Christian. Tucker is one of those people that will take up a title because somebody told him he should have a title. He has no clue what a Christian is, first of all. Secondly, if you knew you were a Christian, then you'd be able to identify the Muslim faith as antithetical to yours and is in complete contradiction to you to where they want you dead per their book. You could say that, and you can also say that there's an extreme branch of them, just like there was an extreme branch of Christians that did the Crusades. You can say, hey, that exists. You couldn't do that because you're disingenuous at best and a liar at worst. I'll bring up a clip of you lying in a bit here, but I want you to continue.
Do you know?
Well, it could have been Nagasaki, Hiroshima, could have been Iraq, Afghanistan. We don't know the full number.
And I think most Christians...
No, don't go fast. He answered your question. And if you know, tell him. You see, okay, bro, do you do this? Do you ever ask a question and then get an answer and don't acknowledge you get the answer?
Right. I mean, it depends on if I want to hear the answer. No.
But okay, say you're coming from a position of wanting to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you ask the question and then move on as soon as you get the question answered and be like, okay, well, that's a fair. Would you do that?
No.
As a genuine person?
No, I wouldn't. I'd actually take the answer in and be like, okay. Okay.
And we don't even do that here.
Yeah.
We look, and we talked about this some years ago. The conservative right influencers are some of the most remedial, stupid, disingenuous, ridiculous, retarded people on God's green earth. And I kid you not. The left have it naturally. The right literally tries to be stupid. And I don't understand what's our fascination with being stupid all the time and not catching ourselves. And when you are called on it, you do nothing about it. I do not understand it. You look at people like Benny Johnson. The man has not two brain cells to rub together, and all he does is regurgitate the same things over and over and over. Brandon Tatum doesn't know a oppositional bone in his body. You look at any one of them on the right, they do not think. You want to know why people on the left can make so much fun of us? It's because of folks like that. And they have the biggest voice. And they make us look silly because they're not willing to actually ask the real questions or answer any questions.
That's right.
That's a shame.
They ask the questions that are safe. or the tribe. So they're all the same. They all ask the same questions. They all hyper focus on the same issues within, the conservative party, whether it's or the liberal party, and it's all the same. You know what I mean? It's just like we're all mad at this, and we're all going to ask these same exact questions, but nobody actually asks real questions. They can't think outside of what they're being told to say, and it's just disingenuous to me.
And to me, that's a crazy thing. Like, I have no problem saying that we on the right want to get to the bottom of things. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times we actually don't do what we say we're doing. It's a lot of it is a lie. We have an ability to be honest, but we don't actually do it. The right, and I can tell you this, the right does not actually have the monopoly on the truth. In terms of the podcasters, they are just not honest about it. And until we get to the place where we, on the right, can actually admit that that's how it is, we're not going to progress. We're simply not.
And all of those things were atrocities.
And if things got fixed within, politics, conservatism, they would have no content. They would have nothing to talk about because a lot of them are one-trick ponies. So they have to continue this circle jerk of telling half information to keep the cycle going, because if they told you the truth and they got down to the truth and they got to the bottom of the answers and they gave the answers out to the people, the truth, they would have nothing. So they just keep circling around.
It's because innocents were killed in large numbers, and we don't believe in that. And so that's not really a defense, is it?
War is a horrible thing, Tucker, and there are people who end up, unfortunately, being killed that shouldn't have been. I would tell you that I wish that none of those people in Gaza had been killed after October the 8th. Well, I say none of them. I'm glad Mohammed Sinwar was killed. I'm glad that some of those warriors, the people who masterminded and carried out the atrocities of October 7th.
14-year-old Hamas operatives, how do you feel?
You see the retarded shit he talks again? I swear I could slap the piss taste out of his mouth right now.
And Mike Huckabee's right. There's always, collateral damage, casualties of war. That's sometimes that you can't avoid that stuff. Sometimes there's a target and some people are in the wrong place at the wrong time and you don't know that they're in there. You have no idea that they're even there. And sometimes things like that happen. People get caught in the crossfire all the time. You try to avoid it. Sometimes you can't.
He's trying to make this so emotional. Such an appeal to emotionalism. Don't you care about the kids? What about the kids?
Yeah, but
what about the kids? What about the kids in Islam that get married off and are raped? What about them, Tucker? What about the people in the country that you seem to just be enamored with, Qatar, that have that same ideology? Why don't you have no problem there? But the kids, what about the 14?
You know why he's doing that, Marlon? You know why he keeps saying, but the kids? Because most conservatives, what is one of the main things you hear conservatives talk about? Kids. Save the children. Save the children. It's said over and over again. So he's using that, that emotional, what about the kids, to kind of draw conservatism into what he's talking about, when it comes to Israel and the kids.
That's why.
Or Hamas. I'm sorry, Hamas and the kids.
About their deaths.
If they participated in that, then God help them. I'm telling you,
what does
Tucker,
that mean, God help
I don't know that they were 14 years.
You hear this?
Are you happy?
I don't know how people can think that Tucker was even good in this interview. I'm sorry. I don't see how you could think Tucker was any good in this interview.
Well, there was another segment I watched that I liked.
If you can find that for me, please, because I'd like to give him some credit for something.
Where he was asking some decent questions.
No, but I'm telling you that when someone commits the acts of atrocity and then they hold hostages, if these were your children being held hostage,
good, flip it. I'm glad you flipped it back on him. I'm glad. Let's see what Tucker says.
What would you do to get them out?
I wouldn't want to kill 14-year-olds.
No. He didn't ask you what you didn't do. He asked you what you would do. And how do you know you wouldn't kill a 14-year-old? You are a liar, bro. I telling you right now, Tucker is probably a racist. I'm going to say that out loud. And I will guarantee you, if a 14-year-old man that isn't white held him and his kids up, he'll be the first to want to kill that kid. He's not going to come talk to him and say, listen, little child, you're such a 14-year-old child and I can't harm you, little child. Please put the gun down, little child. No. Your pasty ass would pop him, or you would call the cops to pop him. What do you mean you wouldn't kill a 14? You're a liar, bro. You would too.
That's like saying 14, 15, 16-year-old kid, like we mentioned earlier, goes into a school, starts shooting up a school. So you're saying the cop shouldn't go in there and
just talk to him,
eliminate the threat, or you just let the kid, hey, little Timmy, put the gun down, buddy. No. So if someone's threatening you, threatening my family, threatening other people, and they have a weapon that can harm and kill other people, our job is to what? Eliminate the threat.
Eliminate the threat. What is wrong with this guy?
I'm not saying a toddler. You know what I mean? There is a limit. You don't want a 3-year-old. You're not going to do something that crazy. You can just go and kick the 3-year-old over. But a 14-year-old kid, that's as a teenager, and I know some 14-year-olds out here that are pretty proficient with weapons. So,
let me ask you something. Would you do whatever it took to get your kids back if they were being tortured, raped, starved, and beaten?
He's asking a second time, and he still won't answer the question. Watch.
Period.
Well, I'm just telling you.
And I would never make excuses for killing children either.
You're a liar. You're a liar, Tucker. A straight up, unequivocated liar. Liar. Because I guarantee you, you are not going to be one to go into the hood and talk to any of the 13, 14, 15-year-old gang members to put the guns down so they don't get shot by the cops. I know for a fact you wouldn't do that. You know why? You are afraid, Tucker. What are you afraid of? That the 13, 14, and 15-year-olds would pop a cap in your ass. That's what you're afraid of.
That is true.
Because you know that you might have to actually end the life of a 13, 14, or 15-year-old that has a gun in his hand. The same way you wouldn't go into the redneck situation and do the same thing to a 13, 14, 15-year-old that has a gun, because they may fill you full of buckshot in a heartbeat. You are disingenuous, bro.
Yeah,
and you still haven't answered the question.
Just be honest. Be like, he asked a straightforward question. If that was your kid being held hostage by a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, would you do what you have to do to protect your kids? Just say, yeah, I would go in there like Rambo and I would take everybody out that has my kids hostage. Just say that. Just be honest.
Golly.
And I'm not talking about targeting children. I'm talking about...
You told me that 14-year-olds deserve to die because they're working for Hamas.
I'm telling you...
Is that what he said? Is that what he said?
Not...
Or did he say, God help him?
Say, God help him.
If 14-year-olds were put in a position to shoot, God help them. That's what he said. He didn't say how did...
And he's right. See, what Tucker doesn't understand is, if a 14-year-old, let's say a 14-year-old works for Hamas, and he's walking out there willy-nilly, no weapon, they're just out there, no threat. They're not going to target someone like that. Now, if he's a 14-year-old working for Hamas that has an AK-47 and an RPG and is trying to cause harm to others, like Mike Huckabee said, God help him.
Jeez Louise.
My question is, can you hear yourself?
I do hear myself.
So do you think a 14-year-old child has agency? Do you think that...
If a 14-year-old child is a threat, they are considered, and are carrying a weapon in a combat zone, they are considered what? An enemy combatant.
So by Tucker's metric, no gang member on that age should go to jail.
Nope.
They don't have agency. By his metric and his measuring skills, unless, of course, he's calling people in Gaza, the kids in Gaza, retarded, which is probably what he believes too. because I believe that Tucker believes anybody that ain't white is stupid. That's what I genuinely believe that Tucker believes. You're telling me that all the people, the kids, white and black, Hispanic, all of them that join gang members, join gangs at 13, 14, 15, do initiation rites, beat people up, kill people, they have no agency, so they should not be held to account. So a 14-year-old, you should be advocating for any 14-year-old that did some kind of mass murder. They should not be put in prison. They should not be shot. They should not be killed. Right? That's what you say, Tucker? Because they have no agent. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
They shouldn't be tried as adults. Sent to juvie. Just let them go.
Again, I get that people aren't normally going to fight back on people like Tucker because they probably don't want to come across rude, but that wouldn't have been me. You ain't gonna twist my words around and then act like you can't see, like trying to be Asian by squinting your eyes.
And Marlon, here's what I think Tucker's doing. He's comparing your average suburban American 14-year-old,
right,
to a 14-year-old in an active combat zone.
I told you he's racist, bro.
He's comparing and I'm agreeing with you. And he's comparing the two. You can't compare this 14-year-old to this 14-year-old. They're two totally different upbringings, two totally different ways of life. One probably knows a little bit of combat skills and survival skills. The other one eats apple pies and rides his bike to his best friend's house on the weekends. Two totally different situations. So you can't compare this one to this one.
I'm saying now, I'm going to say it now. And Tucker, if you hear me, I'm going to stand on this 10 toes down. You are a racist. You're a racist, bro. Just admit it. That's what you are.
He deserves to die because he's being used by adults? Isn't his death a crushing tragedy?
If he's holding a gun and he's pointing it at someone who's trying to save a hostage, and the only way to save that hostage, I'm telling you, war is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. And a lot of innocent people
I'm the one who thinks war is a horrible thing.
No. I think what you don't...
I'm trying to explain how horrible it is, and you're saying that the 14-year-old deserved to die.
You see how he keeps harping on the same stupid shit over and over and over and over? It tells me that Tucker is not a critical thinker. I'm officially on board at knowing that Tucker is retarded. Tucker is retarded. And not only is he retarded, he's intentionally obtuse because he will not actually address the content of what's being said, because he's looking for an emotional gotcha moment on people. And that does not win an argument. That wins you just a popularity vote, but you still haven't answered a single damn question, and you will not be willing to answer what he asked you. You're not answering his question. What would you do? Not what you wouldn't do. What would you do to save your child? Yeah. Would you tackle the kid to the floor and jump in front of the bullet so that it rips right through your stupid body and kills your kids anyway? Would you get on the phone and beg for the 14-year-old not to kill your kids and wait till the cop gets there? What will you do? You won't answer the question. Bruh.
He keeps using the term 14-year-old as if these kids are out there selling flowers on the side of the road, and they're just innocent 14-year-olds just out there like, "Hi, mister." Mike Huckabee specifically said, if he's holding a weapon and pointing it at you or using hostages as human shields, yes, we're going to do what we have to do to protect the innocent, whether they're 14 or 40. The innocent will be protected, period.
I'm so lost, bro. So stinking lost.
We don't execute 14-year-olds.
You're putting words in my mouth that I
don't know what you're saying.
I never said deserve.
You know why you don't know what he's saying? Because you're not listening. You don't listen. Just to be honest, Tucker, you don't listen to nobody. All you do is you talk and you wait for your 2 cents to come up to say what you were wanting to say without listening to a damn word anybody says. I'm surprised Huckabee sat there for 2 hours. I really am. Like I give that man credit.
Die.
Okay.
I say there are people who die that is unfortunate.
Okay.
But I'm saying that you are not giving Israel credit for having done everything they possibly could to a level that, quite frankly, in urban warfare, there has never been a war that has
criticize Israel, but it's a foreign country, and I would much rather criticize a foreign country than my own.
What?
When we already discussed that part.
Okay. I live here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it benefit me more to critique where I live so it gets fixed than a foreign country?
Yes. It's okay to critique your own country.
The fact that he lied there too, because he does critique America constantly.
Yep.
Hold on. I gotta find this monkey's page. I'm gonna find this monkey's page right now. Because I promise you, this is a different level of retardation I have never seen from him before. Like it's getting progressively worse to listen to him. Okay, videos. Let's see what so far he's talked about. The DOJ, that's America, right?
Mm-hmm.
The system fails in America, that's America too. Epstein, that's America, right?
Yep.
Okay. Replacing America, that's America too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Critiquing that. Okay. Who really runs Florida? That's America, right?
Yep.
Critiquing that too. Let's see here. Identity theft in America, censorship, America. Disavowing conservative, America. Trump, America, right? So you do critique America. I would rather criticize everybody else but America. But when whole half of your page is critiquing America, as it should be, because you live here. You live here. That'd be the people you want to critique, dummy.
And that's one of the biggest problems with people like him and many other social media influencers is that they spend more time critiquing outside of our own country when they should be critiquing really what's going on here. Yeah, we're aware of what's going on outside of us, but that's not our problem. Take that same energy and start really, hitting it home, critiquing what's here.
Bro.
Feel free to do that. They can handle it.
Pivoted against our country by saying Israel's done a better job than our military.
No, he didn't say that. You said that. He didn't say that. You said that. This is what Candace does too. It's like a tactic that they just love using. They will introduce a thought. You repeat the thought they introduced. And then when they move on to something else, you're the one that, no. You brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
All he said was you asked him, what did Israel do? He told you, Israel sent flyers into it, frankly, no one else really does. He never said America. You interjected America. Because it is factual. Okay, show me. Does America, you tell me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Does America do that? Send out any messages to anybody saying this is where we're going to strike, or do you do it without them knowing so that they are not ready for it?
It always depends on the target, man. And it's just one of those things. It depends on how high of a level a target is.
Okay.
So yes, there are times that we will send certain agencies in there, certain units to go in there and actually hand out pamphlets and warn the people. And there's other times that we just go in and do what we got to do. And don't shoot at us, or it is what it is. But
okay, so let's take this one. We'll take Afghanistan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys were trying to infiltrate certain sections of Afghanistan, not asking you to divulge any secrets, would you try to tell any of the localized people there we're coming in at so-and-so time, make sure you're cleared? Or would you send reconnaissance in and try to go door to door if it's a heavy thing and tell the individuals individually? What kind of tactics we use to try and mitigate civilian casualties?
Usually we would just roll right in, but by the time we even got in, the civilians already knew we were coming. They had a whole network to warn, hey, they're coming. So a lot of times in Afghanistan, those people, a lot of times they would get the women and children up out of those villages if they wanted to fight. They didn't really keep them there. They would tuck them away. So, but we didn't really give them any warning. They were their own warning. They would let each other know, but we would roll right up in a place. Park on the front line.
Yeah. I can explain it to you. And it's not an overnight thing. Okay. And we've been talking about this exact same thing for how long we've been doing this? 4 years now? 3 years? 4 years?
4 years.
They have a very smooth tactic, and that is telling people what they think they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And what Tucker, just like with anybody else that's on his side, will do is they don't dabble in the actual tangible facts in full. They will deal with it on the interim when they first met, talk about it. Then they'll bunch of feelings in between it. And then on the tail end, they might throw in a couple more facts. So it's like a fact sandwich with a whole bunch of MSG and fattening agents in the middle. And the more you hear that, and you can double check this, check with people like Benny Johnson. His click is the thumbnail, something big, sensational, and then it's absolutely nothing but filler in the filling, and then on the end, he'll tell you about something that's coming next. Case closed.
Mm-hmm.
Views galore. Why? Because it's sensational. It gets you in the feels. It gets you to feel something, to think, oh, really? Oh my gosh! And you lose all control about what could be real, what this could be happening. This is Candace does the same thing. Get you hyped up about something super, super dangerous with no proof about it. And we'll throw in a little bit of an anecdotal stuff here and there and the other. And then people, oh my gosh, it must be true. Never present the facts. Never present the actual truth about it, but people will believe it. So it's always been happening, which is why when you see programs like ours on both sides, they don't want that. Why? Because we don't dabble in the what ifs. And if we do talk about the what ifs, that's where it stays, as a what if, not a what is.
Mm-hmm.
They hate platforms like ours because we're too straight. We will tackle everybody, whether you're on the left, in the right, or or you're just independent. If you're stupid and wrong, we'll call you stupid and wrong. If you're right, you're right. We've called people on the left right before.
Yep.
Because they've been right about something. But when you're polarized, you don't do that. But they also understand that the majority of Americans love picking sides.
Mm-hmm.
And they will normally pick the side that they want to identify with most. The right has realized there is a pool of people that also don't do their research, and they will take whatever is handed to them by the person they consider knowledgeable. The person doesn't have to be. They just have to present themselves like that. Once that's done, they keep saying the same thing that they like all the time. There you go.
It's political tribalism at best. They pick a side. It doesn't matter what that person says. They agree with the person because they vote just like them. They'll never question it. And then Tucker and people like Tucker, Candace, all these guys understand that.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to reel people in. Just like earlier I said, listen how Tucker says children. What do you mean, the children? The children? He keeps saying it, the children, because he knows the right, how passionate people on the right are about children. So he's going to keep saying that to draw them in to his side.
Mm-hmm. We fired Lee because Lee was too Asian for us. We can't stand it. No, he couldn't. I mean, we couldn't even tell if he was looking at us with his eyes were so closed. No, he working tonight. He working this. And Charlie Snyder said, Charlie, do all dogs go to heaven? Charlie says Tucker would run circles around these dipshits. Tucker can't even run. All he would do if we ever came on his platform or he came on ours, all you would hear him do sound like a baboon, or Mickey Mouse is trying to be like Mickey Mouse, do a look-alike.
And you know, Mark, we talk about people like that Charles guy all the time. You know, the bootlickers for these big time, you know, right-wing commentators. You know, they come in, they just support him, just like we said a few minutes ago. It doesn't matter what they say. It's part of the tribe. I'm going to support him. I don't know Tucker personally. I've never met him in my life, but yeah, I know that guy has my back. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have your back. He doesn't care about you. You're a number to him. That's it. See, unlike Tucker, we know most of our audience, the majority of our audience. We know who they are. Tucker doesn't know you. I bet he'll never see your little cheering for him on this podcast.
Yeah,
Charles, go back to your mom's basement.
Secondarily, your boyfriend ain't gonna come talk to us.
Yeah,
you know why? Because he doesn't have the balls.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Aw, thank you.
Aw, so original.
You're sucking Trump, and Zio Christians. What's a
Zionist. There it is. Yeah, you're sucking. Oh my God, that's so original, Marlon. Oh my God.
Here's another one.
Have we heard that? You guys are idiots.
Oh, it's Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore says, "You guys are idiots." Okay. But you here listening to idiots. What does that make you?
And you ain't gonna do nothing about it. I know that much.
Imagine being an idiot. I mean, imagine calling somebody an idiot while listening. And hear me, you took the time to have it scroll by you on your screen, click on it, listen long enough, and engage with the content just to call them idiots.
Yes. Thanks for the payment.
Do you know what you just did? You helped more people see our idiotic stuff. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Little show has nothing to do with it. I'd rather have a little show than be a giant idiot like Tucker. I'd prefer that.
I'd rather have a little show than no show at all, Mr.
No
I doubt you can even get out your freaking basement. You probably weigh 300 and something pounds eating whole bags of freaking burritos.
You notice something? It's always they go after, oh, you don't have a show. Listen, if you believe that smarts involve numbers, then there's something definitely wrong with you. If you believe that because Tucker has an audience of a large amount, that must mean that he has intelligence on his side, I would caution you in measuring that and using that metric.
That's
because there was a lot of people that followed Hitler, didn't they? Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hitler had a bunch of numbers too. He still has a big number today. Yeah. So does that make him smart? Just a simple question. I mean, Hitler has numbers, so does that make him smart? Of course, you wouldn't be able to answer that question. yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I simply gave you the illustration, and I helped you understand that Israel goes to links that no other country, including ours, goes to in the middle of an urban war. And yet Israel ended up with fewer civilian deaths in an urban war than any urban war of record.
You said you didn't know how many civilian deaths there were. So
no. He said he didn't know how many children deaths there were.
That's the question.
Children, not civilian. Again, this is how they lied to you.
Can you say that?
If you took Gaza's numbers, Hamas's numbers,
you said you don't know what the numbers are.
We don't. Not what he.
What was Tucker's original question?
Let's go back to the beginning, shall we?
Yeah. What was his original question? How many
of the kids who were killed
had some kind of count on it?
We also know.
Listen,
how many civilians have been killed by the IDF in Gaza?
We don't know. You know why we don't know?
What's your guess?
Well, the only numbers we have come from this dubious entity called the Gaza Health Ministry. You know who that is?
Well, why doesn't Israel have some kind of count on it?
We also know that a lot of the people who were killed were in fact warriors. Sadly,
how many kids were killed?
There you go. All right. How many kids were killed?
What's the difference between kids and civilians?
And civilians, because he wants to harp on the emotionality.
Okay.
That's why. That's why.
I get it.
You should talk to the average Palestinian kid. Our hearts break for them. Well, it did until October 7. Now we find it kind of hard to sympathize anymore. It's not that I don't sympathize. My issue with this entire war is that it has been an attempt to try and figure out how they can demonize a certain group over the other. If we really cared about the war, we would attack it from this neutral position of both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Israel and Hamas, not Gaza, Hamas. What started what, and what was the appropriate response for what was started? People can go back all the way back to treaties of 48. You can go back there if you want to, but we're talking about this instance, which is what kicked off this war.
Mm-hmm.
Which side attacked who first? The answer to that is Hamas. Every time there was a treaty, the person to break the treaty has not been Israel. That is historically accurate. Go do that research for yourself. So if you're telling me that Assad has a tradition of breaking a treaty every time I make one with them, and then they decide to go back and do something even more egregious and pull off a full-on attack, what the hell do you expect me to do? I just don't understand it, dude. I really don't get that. But this is another one here.
You platformed a guy, you had him on your show, Tony Aguilar.
Don't platform anyone.
Well,
liar again, lies again.
You interviewed
not a liberal,
Tony
so I don't
Aguilar.
platform people.
Okay, you interviewed Tony Aguilar, who claimed that IDF soldiers killed a little boy in his presence.
Listen,
that didn't happen.
Okay,
it did not happen.
Okay. I thought you cared about the kids. Okay, and all right. Okay, so he didn't do it. Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Let me give you the
know
story.
if you know whether it happened or not.
Well, I can tell you why I know it didn't happen.
Okay.
Because we found that little boy less than a week later. Tony Aguilar is a liar who was fired from the GHF, and he begged for his job back, and they wouldn't give it back because they didn't want him. And he told them that if they didn't give his job back, that he would burn them down.
Okay.
So he goes out. No, let me finish.
He's so nervous, Tucker.
Important for you to understand.
Right.
How you guys doing? This is so hard.
Don't squirm. I want to get back to that right there.
Let's have a look and give our comment.
And I don't believe your average IDF soldier wants to kill innocents. I just want to be really clear about that. I don't think most soldiers want to do that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them in our country, in Israel, wind up doing that because that's what war is about. And I know people who've done it personally.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how contradictory he is in his conversations? In one half, he'll tell you one thing, and then by the next half, it's a completely different story.
Mm-hmm.
The guy he platformed did indeed lie. And he did platform him because you're giving him a platform to speak his stuff from.
Yeah, I remember that story.
And here we have good old Tucker. Listen to him be two-tongued. Listen again.
Worked for Mossad. I don't think we know. I'm not saying he worked for Mossad. I don't think we know that.
I think you said it, a turning point event. Everybody knows Jeffrey Epstein.
I said everyone thinks.
The real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. This guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel.
I'm not saying he worked for Mossad. I don't think we know that.
I think you said it.
That's not abnormal for Tucker. It's not abnormal for many people on the right, unfortunately. And this is our issue as savage patriots. We are savage enough to address our side and be overly critical of our side. We do that better than any other platform. And I will die on that hill. And I'm pretty sure bro would agree with me.
Yep.
Of anybody else's platform on YouTube, you will never find a right-leaning podcast group that will critically blow apart the right when they do some asinine stuff. They won't do it. And if they do, they try to make an offhand excuse for it. That is my problem with people like Tucker. Tucker has an agenda. And I don't give a damn about what he tells people his agenda. It's right there in the front of everybody to see. He is the kind of person that wants people to be lacking information and wants you to feed on emotionalism. And unfortunately, that's become the new thing for the right to do. And I don't even know when that started.
That started 2020, 24, the last election. We always say on this podcast that we're not loyalists. Do we support a certain side? We're conservatives. Yes, we are conservatives over here, but we are not political loyalists. We're not going to sit up here and lick the boot of any politician if they're doing something that we don't agree with. We will call it out. We will give our opinion on it every single time. And a lot of conservative commentators, creators, podcasters don't do that. They're loyalists. It doesn't matter what's happening. They're always going to walk the party line. They're going to toe the line with the party because they don't want to lose their platform. We don't care. We're going to call it as we see it. And guys like Tucker, he walks a line. I don't know what line he walks at this point. I don't know what what he stands for. Is he's just rogue or something? We don't know. But he's going to have to figure it out and let us know where he stands at some point, so we have a better understanding of who he is.
It's kind of like a drunk man taking a sobriety test.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You remember that Vietnamese guy? They was like, follow the finger. He was like, that's Tucker. Follow the finger.
And look, I tell you now, there's a lot of things about Tucker that people can say he's super smart. I can't say that. I'm sorry, I can't say that. I used to think that, and until I started actually listening to some of the things that he would espouse. I want to address this before we go any further. I'll go ahead and say it.
I said I'm still in the middle on Tucker. I'm right there. Yeah, he's been, but I'm still a fan of Tucker, man. But I'm not a loyalist either. I still will sit here and talk crap.
Let me bring this up.
Now,
this is one you sent in the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I tell you that I believe that Tucker does not have an understanding of, one, the thing he calls Christianity, or two, what it actually means to be a seed of Abraham and a descendant of Abraham and a Jew. He doesn't understand. Neither he nor Candace understands this at all. They have no concept, but they run and they mix both biblical and political and think that they have an answer. And it's neither. Okay, so let's listen to what he says.
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean, maybe it would be.
What do you mean? What it would prove who Abram's descendants are.
You got Abraham's genes.
We lose a lot of those genes after a certain amount of generations.
Does Tucker have access to the DNA of Abraham?
No.
Okay. So when people were assimilated into the nation of Israel, biblically, by the way, and were counted as the seed of Abraham because they believed the same thing as Abraham believed, how would you DNA test them? Because you do understand that the seed does not always mean offspring to offspring to offspring to offspring. It is also of his house. And those that are counted in Abraham's house is not always of the blood, you remedial jackass. But because you have an agenda to push, you say something that you think is so profound. Why don't we just do some DNA testing? Just do some DNA testing. Do it. I mean, come on, all you got to do is who can't do that? I mean, I'm for it. I'm always for it. In fact, I'm always for everything that has to do with what I believe. So, I mean, I couldn't really say no, but I can't say yes. I mean, it is what it is. You want people to do DNA testing, hear me out, to find out who the offspring of Abraham is without having Abraham's code.
I think he worded that totally wrong. I think he messed up. But yeah, you're right.
That is.
And who has a right to live here and who doesn't, according to the theology that you yourself just explained. And so I'm very confused as to why we don't do that. If you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Would we do that all over the world?
Well, and everybody this is the only country in the world that you've said has this covenant with God, that this people have a moral and legal right to the land.
Yes, that's biblical. And again, if y'all want to get into some weeds, if y'all read and want to believe the book y'all say that y'all believe, which is the Bible, Israel, in order for things to come to an end, has to have a political stance amongst the nations in order to have that treaty to sign with the man of perdition. There's no way he can sign it with some weird folk out there in the desert doing nothing. He signs it with Israel. How else can you do that if you don't have a nation state, you dummy? Again, I told you that this man doesn't know what he's talking about. He's probably still getting laid pipe down by those demons that he had as a kid.
But there are people who may not have bloodlines, but who have converted to Judaism.
Exactly.
Are they going to be able to live here? Are you going to kick them out?
By your standards, they can't live here.
No, that's not. No, by your standards, you're the one that's wanting to do DNA. You see how you see how you flipped it again?
Mm-hmm.
Huckabee never mentioned the blood. You did. And they said, oh, by your definition. No, that's your definition, Tucker. You're the one that wants to do DNA testing to check. What is wrong? Oh, my God. This is painful. This is painful, man. That's painful. That's painful.
Because you just told me that they have a right to live here because God gave them the land because they're the descendants of Abram.
They're the descendants of Abraham. But if they're the spiritual descendants of Abraham and they've now decided that they're converting to Judaism, then
that's biblical, by the way. Ruth and Naomi, in case you want some kind of a inference.
Do they have a right to live in Israel?
Since you began this conversation by asking me, did I think they had a right to come here?
Yeah, that's
and
what
my question was, on what basis do they have the right?
Yeah. So you mean you're admitting you didn't answer the question? I like that you're. Hey, that's a step. He admitted that he didn't answer questions. That's great.
And you said because God granted it to them.
And I also said because that there should be a land where Jews could live in peace and safety.
And I asked you what a Jew was, and you couldn't answer it. You said it partly is religious, but doesn't have to be. It's partly genetic, but it doesn't have to be.
Which is true. All right.
Marlon, you're gonna have to do a whole episode on that on your other podcast. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to break that down. I think the people want it. That portion of it.
For those of you again unaware, you're counted as a seed of Abraham too if you're a Christian, by the way. Anyhow, so again, I don't know how you would. There are just some things I wish that you just don't speak on, Tucker. And that to me, religion, that'd be one of them. One, you don't invest enough time to actually know what you're talking about. You put in a political spin on something that's biblical, and you can't do that because one does influence the other, and it's the other way around. It's not that the political affects the religious affects the political. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a moral code of law saying you can't kill. But if you were to implement your logic, which you don't seem to have any of anymore, then you would understand that. And finally, the nation of Israel is differing from the government in a lot of ways, although the nation of Israel is now ruled by the government of Israel. Mm-hmm. And if you understood the difference, you would know the difference, but you don't because you have an agenda to push. I am not saying that everything the government of Israel does is good. In fact, hardly any of it. America doesn't have a very good track record as a government either, but the American people are different than the American government. Okay. And I don't know why this is difficult for people to understand. I really do not get it. It is not. Maybe you can help me out, bro. Is it really this difficult?
No, it's not. It's not hard to separate the two. The people aren't the government because the government really doesn't care about the people. Yeah, and then when people, they tie the governments to the people, and I think we discussed this before, when they talk about enemies, this state or this country is our enemy. The people, we're not enemies with the people over there. So the average American isn't looking at the average Russian as the enemy. It's our governments who are enemies. The rest of us, we have nothing to do with that.
This is one of those things that make you go, what the? That's what I keep thinking.
I was thinking of that song. One of those things that make you go, things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
This is my response to Tucker.
You're a liar. That's right. I don't care if you're black or white or yellow or red. You're a liar.
Tell him, Gino. Tell it. Listen here, Tucker. I'm trying to tell you. If you don't know the answer, shut up. Shut up right now. Shut up. Show me the book, chapter, and verse.
That preacher right there is based. Is that man right there?
Yeah, he a problem too, though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all problems. But he is pretty based, though.
Politically, yeah, he based politically. Yeah. I agree. Someone asked for this. This is also Tucker.
You guys got to see Jay since he's
he was here. He came in he's here in spirit.
Yeah.
And in case y'all ever come back to this platform, understand this is also us, all three of us, and I think bro would agree with it, that all three of us have this in common.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
Always.
Yeah, don't come in here with your problem. Don't come in here talking mess. We keep saying it. We say it over and over again to the trolls that like to pop their little heads in here. You're not going to win in this podcast. We're not a Tucker show. We're not a Candace show. We're not one of your favorite multi-million-dollar political commentator show. We will eat you alive, spit you out, and send you on your way.
Raw. That's back to back. The fact of it is this, people. Israel has its issues, major issues. There is a hub there of child trafficking. We've covered that before. But there is also a issue of child trafficking here. There's a mad issue of child trafficking here. Yep. Heck, just look at CPS. CPS is a hub of trafficking right off the rip. We are a main line to it. So don't act like it's just, look at the foreign. And Tucker, if you want to complain, argue it where you can fix. You can fix here first. You can fix the trafficking and get your voice being heard and meet with people that could fix stuff, but you don't do that because you really don't care about the kids. You're using children as fodder to further your points of view and your agenda. And we find this every time we talk about, you should talk about the kids. We talk about something, talk about the kids. When we do talk about the kids, you know who don't show up? The people who ask us to talk about the kids. Because y'all don't care about the kids. You really don't. You want to use them as a constant talking point. Like, okay, you care about the kids in the Epstein list. Who did they keep talking about? Trump. You want arrests. Why? So the big elites can go down. What does it have to do with the kids? Don't you want to stop the trafficking of children, right? So stop the trafficking of children. You think an arrest of 50, maybe 30 elites are going to stop the trafficking of children?
Nope.
There are ways to stop trafficking of children, but you don't want to talk about it. But the same people who's talking about don't traffic children are the same one that'll be about killing them and have no problem with harvesting everything they got in them. The fact of the matter, people don't care, and they use children just like they use toilet paper. Tucker is one of those people.
It's performative outrage.
It's all performative. All of it. And it needs to be called out. And understand that there are people who defend Tucker and defend Cannon. Y'all to defend, that's your right. You have an American right to support whoever you support. But the same way that you can support those people, we can also call you out for not using your brain cells when you support them. And when we ask you, so like if someone comes in here defending Tucker and we ask you why, and the first thing you go to, you're all an idiot, then you don't have an answer as to why you support Tucker. Or we invite you to come talk about it, you disappear.
Yeah, when you
go ahead.
If we're talking about any mainstream politician, any mainstream talking head, and you come in to defend them, that says a lot about you. That means you only believe what they say, and you're going to support them regardless of what they do and say, and you have zero critical thinking skills. what we like to do in this show, though we may support some of the people that we talk about, we may actually like them. But if we see something that's a little off and we have a question about it, we're gonna talk about it. This is why when you see people that the minute you talk bad about Trump, what do you get, Marlon? No matter how much of a Trump supporter we've been on this show, we did his rallies, we did all this stuff. What do they call you? Lukewarm. Fake MAGA. And they start throwing these things at you because it's either all or nothing with a lot of people. You're not allowed to talk about what they did wrong. It's either all or nothing. Where do you stand?
Well, too bad.
Well, I guess I'm over here then. I'm in the middle somewhere dancing with myself.
I will make a challenge.
Circle jerk over there.
I'll make a challenge to all the people that have an issue with our platform. Here's the challenge. If you want to prove to us, listen to the words carefully, prove to us that you have a thing that we talk about that you disagree with that's unequivocally wrong because there's proof to the contrary, come do so. Come do so. So let me answer this question for you and see if you have an answer real quick, Charles. When did Trump and the DOJ request for the Northern District in New York and the Northern District in Florida to release all grand jury information? One, when did he request it and what was the outcome of the request? Now, mind you, grand jury information is factual information, submitted information, not tips, not faux information, not half-truths, entered into evidence information. What happened when the DOJ last year submitted to the district in New York and in Florida for grand jury information to be released about Epstein? What happened?
He won't.
And we'll prove to you how they don't really want to have the conversation to get to the bottom of anything. They just want to put a talking point. Watch. Just watch. We have not been wrong yet. Watch. One of two things. No answer or deflect. Watch. Jeopardy music.
Dun, 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 dun. For him, that's just a talking point. And Marlon, with this question he asked, how many times have we seen the same question right here?
Over and over.
Over and over. Same thing. They just regurgitate all these points. He heard this somewhere on social media. He heard it somewhere on TikTok or his favorite YouTuber. He heard the same exact thing, and all he's doing is regurgitating. He never looked back. He never looked it up. He never found out for himself why. Well, my favorite commentator, Tucker Carlson, said this, so it must be right.
I know, right? 2%. He's trying to make your name look bad. But it's not 2%. Technically, it's %2. Oh, I don't know when that exact thing you are talking about.
So why would you? There, you take that. Why would you?
So you know so much of how much he didn't release, but you don't know that.
This is what we talk about, people. Just admit that you heard that somewhere. The question you asked earlier, you never researched it. You saw it, you read it somewhere, you took it for face value, and you ran with it. You never said, well, let me look this up and see why this happened. You're just going with the talking point, and you ran with it because your favorite creator said it.
Yeah, because it's in the news. The news told me to look at the news. Did you hear that a cow was found in a building on the escalator? Who told you? The news.
Oh my God, man.
Recently, not a vague question from last year. Do you understand that this question from last year is why we're here this time? Because if the grand jury information had been released by the judges that decided to not release it, we wouldn't be having this conversation, Mr. Charles.
Hey, Marlon, who appointed those judges that would?
That'd be the Dems. Yeah, Mr. Bama. Mr. Bama, yeah.
And Clinton judges, they appointed those judges that wouldn't release the information.
Ain't that wild? Ain't that wild? Hey, look, but we're the dummies, and that's okay. We'll be happily being dummies. It's okay. Y'all have the answers. Charlie, you are 100% right. Everything you say is right. Everything you hear is right. We don't know nothing. Obviously, we knew more than you when it comes to exactly what took place, but that's different. I mean, you know everything, and you know exactly what's been released, and you've been through all 3.5 million pages of the Epstein files, and you know everything about it, so we don't. So here's what I think you should do. Words of advice. You should prepare yourself to be a podcaster because you have the truth and people need to hear you. Forget the news. Forget the news. You have the truth. And I think you should get on in front of a camera and tell the world what you know. They will listen to you, Charles, because you have the truth.
That's right.
Charles, listen to me, man. People like you are a dime a dozen. The truth tellers, the ones that know everything,
just so all.
You need to have your own platform, bro. Yeah. Heck, start with us. We will have you on and you can tell everybody what you know. No. I'm telling you, bro. Come on this platform. We will give you a half hour to tell us everything you know.
He said they're in the files.
Like you know everything.
He said they're in the files. How much of the files have you read? That's the question. And with this podcast, we never tell our followers, our viewers to just believe everything we say. Take everything we say and run. No, we say, go look it up yourself. Research this stuff yourself. Don't take our word for it. Look it up yourself. Do your own research. And if we're wrong, you know how to contact us with that little email scrolling at the bottom. Just tell us, hey, you guys made a mistake right here.
Mm-hmm. But what would be much better is for you to come tell everybody, listen, we will mute up, leave you on the screen by yourself, and you tell the world, all the people that will listen, exactly what you know. I'm telling you, people want to know the truth, and you seem to have it. And if you're trying to get started with the truth-telling situation, we will platform you. We'll platform you. All right? Oh, there's plenty of people already doing it much better than I would or you two. Oh, okay. So there can only be so many truth tellers, huh? Okay. I guess that's what that means. There's enough people doing it already, just like there's enough people searching for kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not his jam. That means I'm lazy. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what that really means. Yeah.
He's lazy and he'd rather have other people feed him information and run with it as if it's his own information.
And he can come into other people's platforms and talk to them like they're dummies, because that's that's better than going and having your own platform and being the smart person. Yeah, there are too many of those, of course. Definitely, there are way too many of those, for sure.
Just let me come into this platform, regurgitate something I saw on my favorite creators platform.
Yeah.
And regurgitate it as if this was my own, thoughts. Yeah. These are my thoughts. These are my words. And I'm just going to post it in here and make them think it's mine.
I mean, but if you really believe what they're doing, why are you here? Yeah. You're not going to influence. Remember, you don't want to, it's not your jam. Telling people the truth is not your jam. So if it's not your jam, why are you in here trying to act like you have jam? You see what I'm saying? You do want to say something. So do your own platform, bro. I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging you to chase that dream. I have a dream that one day Charlie would do something about his platform and become one of the most influential people on the planet. It's lazy to call Tucker retarded and racist. No, it's factual to call Tucker retarded and racist. And I did refute his points. And he will never interview me because Tucker is weak. Tucker doesn't have a blasted spine. Tucker will cherry pick everything he can find because he's not a strong man. Tucker doesn't know his ass from his elbow or a hole in the ground. He would not be able to stand up to the questions I have for him because he will not be allowed to run. That's why Tucker will not platform somebody like me. That's why he will never have somebody like Bro on his platform, because you're going to get ate up. We gonna have him like a dog on a chain, and every time he acts, first come back here. Where you going? Answer my question. Well, I want to yank you right back to the floor. But that mean we gotta pin your ass to the floor by your neck. We gonna do it. But he can't tolerate that. He loves to run. He wouldn't do that when he's around us. Tucker's a simp. Bitch-made. He's a simp. Tucker is the weakest of the weak when you look at men. He picks the people that he knows will not raise their voice at him and demand an actual answer. He will never come on a platform like this.
And with that answer alone, right there, that response that he left right there, Charles, that just goes to show us that he's a bootlicker and he kisses the boot of these big time conservative creators who can tell him anything they want and he's going to run with it. He doesn't know anything about Tucker. He has no idea who Tucker is. He probably just likes Tucker because he was at TPUSA. He's like, oh, I like Tucker. He was at TPUSA for 43 years of Tucker. You don't know anything about Tucker.
Just crazy.
I'll run with that. It's cool, man.
The fact that you think that somehow because he has large amounts of views. Look, Bonnie Blue has views too on OnlyFans.
Yep.
That just means she knows how to take D like you.
Oh, so whose boot are y'all kissing? No one. Absolutely nobody's.
Dummy. All of y'all are just simple. You go listen to somebody because they got numbers, and you say that must be the truth because people are listening to it.
Bro, we got 3 million followers. That must be right.
No wonder men today go and subscribe to OnlyFans. Numbers. I get to see some tatas for a nominal fee because I can't even get me a woman. So I'm going to go look at fake tatas all day long.
And give her my whole check.
Brain rot myself to death. Yeah, I tell you what, don't come back here. Go hang out with the people you listen to and Tucker. We're dummies. We're stupid. We don't know anything. So you've established that. So do not make yourself stupid by coming back to listen to stupid people. How about that? I'm going to help you out. We retarded. We're weak. We don't know nothing. We're hidden in the back of the room. We got limited views. We are the small platform. Don't come back. Go listen to the people that have mad views and can say what you like to hear. Go listen to the itching ears people. How about that? I help you out. Since you don't want to come on platform to talk, then go find somebody to listen to. And it ain't us. But for anybody else who wants to have the conversation, our door's open. Look, what? We've been begging for somebody to come on here. We had 3 people say, I'll be on. And every time they say that,
they don't show.
Somehow they got to go pick up the kids.
That's true. Big talk too. Go watch the podcast where this side bad, this side good. Me good over here. Listen to me. That's what you listen to.
Y'all are wild. And it's just so weird that they always defend them just based on numbers. You realize that? Yeah. That they always mention the numbers. It's always the numbers. I think y'all dumbed me up so much I don't know how to leave. Okay, hang on. We are so dumb that we can help you.
I think y'all dumb me up.
Let me show you something, Charles. Let me show you a trick that I learned back in boot camp. I'm always willing to help the people on the short bus. Magic. It's called banning you so you can't be back. How about that? See? Easy.
He'll be back.
How easy that was?
They always create another account and
simple.
They always come back.
Goodbye to Charles. In any case, we shall be back on Wednesday, hopefully with Lee. And we'll have lots to talk about then. Lots to talk about. I do want to have a conversation about that Mexico issue.
Yeah.
That war is going on in Mexico. I thought the Mexican, prime minister was all like, nothing's wrong over here. We have everything under control. Oh, you do, huh? Okay.
I was talking to a friend, and I know a couple of people that have family there right now, and it's brutal, man. It's not good, but all we can do is, hope at least the people that are innocent, get left alone. And one thing about that real fast, one thing about Mexico and places like Mexico where all this chaos is happening and they're burning and killing people and shooting people, Americans are spoiled and entitled. We can get on the internet and talk about the Super Bowl halftime show and stuff like that. You have people out there trying to survive in the middle of firefights and gunfights. So stop acting entitled. Be grateful for what we have here. It's not perfect. By all means, it can get better. But be grateful for what we have. We're not going through what these people are going through down there.
Yeah. No, we are not going live tonight. We're also changing a few things when it comes to that. So look out for it'll be a change for our benefit, because we've discovered something about our content, kind of like we have here. People are not willing to explore both sides of anything. They simply are not capable anymore of doing it, at least not on large scale. And we're not willing to compromise our moral standard for picking a side. And so in an effort to make sure that we still put food on our table, because it is a business that we're running, we're going to pick neutral topics that have nothing to do with side picking. And so that's going to be the new direction, because at the end of the day, it's a tough location to be in when the reality is that neither side tells you the truth. Both sides can lie to you, and it's okay to say that both sides can lie to you, and that you can point out the lies on both sides, and not have to pick a side, that the truth is sometimes always in the middle. But we also have to make a decision about where we go financially, because it is a business. We spend a lot of hours. I talk 7 hours a day. 7 hours a day I talk. And so I know that I burn myself to the crisp when it comes to platforms. Okay, so I'm not willing to burn for no reason. But I'm also not going to sacrifice my moral compass for people and their inability to think outside the box. I'm not doing that. So we're going to be changing things just a little, not a whole lot, but just a little. We're just not going to dabble in all the soap opera BS that's going on. So no, we're not going to be going live. And then, of course, after the next 2 weeks, I'll be offline. It'll just be Corey holding up the end until I come back from my surgery. So my other platforms are, go ahead, what?
It might just be Jay from what we were talking about backstage.
Yeah.
For a little bit, not all days.
Yeah. There's one called Both Sides, one called In Plain Sight, which might be going away. It's still debatable. And then one called Straight Talk. That's Both Sides, Straight Talk. And if you want to find me, just put Straight Talk Marlon Brown and you'll find it. And then In Plain Sight. So it's a crazy deal, but yeah, then we won't be going live. Wednesday, like I said, we want to talk. Thank you, 2%. We want to more likely talk about that cartel issue that's going on and what actually led up to it, and whether or not the U.S. should have any involvement in it.
You know, real quick, I'm wondering if we can get somebody that's actually there to get on.
I'm working on that.
Oh, okay.
So we might not, but
that'd be
right
great.
Now the ground feed is pretty rough. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Ground feed is pretty rough.
And you know why we say get somebody that's actually there, because we can see whatever the news is showing us, or whatever, TikTok is showing us, but to have somebody actually on the ground saying this is actually what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need to know the truth, and the truth is sometimes very hard to find.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. Very hard indeed. Very hard. So with that being said, we thank you all for checking in. Trolls, you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love
you helped the algorithm in a lot more ways. The Straight Talk channel, just so you know, is a religious one, just FYI. So don't come there expecting it's a religious one. Just keep your expectations about that a little different. It's not political. So anyhow, appreciate you guys. We'll catch you all come Wednesday. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. and we'll catch you guys come Wednesday. Peace.